Hey, so let's get down to the question. Is lead weights better than tungsten? Is there any advantages, disadvantages to either? Well, you'll find out in this video. Stay tuned. So, the question is, lead weights versus tungsten for bass fishing. Quick note, the answer is tungsten. Advantages of tungsten outweighs lead by far. So, lead weight is larger, it's thinner, and it's a softer metal than tungsten. If you were to have a half-ounce weight in lead, it'd be almost double the size of tungsten. So that gives you a smaller profile, right? Smaller profile helps with better bites. It's easier to cast. It doesn't make such a big splash because you gotta remember, it's a smaller profile. So there's less area surface that makes contact with water. Less chance of your baits getting hung up. Lead is also poison too, but tungsten is more durable. So after casting a few times, even in something like this, your lead weight, as it makes contact with the ground, let's say there's rocks under there, you drop your weight or something like that, the metal is actually very soft, so it'll actually mash in. And what happens with that is line frays, because the tube, the center where your line goes through, it starts to protrude. So as you're casting over and over and over, you'll actually start to fray your line, if not break off. A very bad time for that to happen is you hook into something that's 3 pounds or bigger. So that's why I prefer tungsten over lead. Speaking of tungsten, I have a product I want to show you guys. I am affiliated with Angler Tungsten, but let me tell you why. So Angler Tungsten has this, the way of painting, which is like oxy armor, where, I mean, I fish in rough conditions. I bang myself off rocks. I cast a country mile, and I'm just very, very rough with my equipment. So I've noticed after, a month of fishing 4 to 5 days a week, I was like, hey, there's no chips. Which actually saves me a lot of money in my pocket, which brings me to this question right here. Well, not really a question, but okay. So the amount of money that I spend on weights per year would be a lot higher than if I didn't have Angler Tungsten. Because let's face it, unless I lose a weight, I don't need to replace it. They've proven themselves time and time again. They don't rust. The paint is extremely hard to chip. And I believe they have warranty on it too, so you can send it in and have it repainted. But because the painting, to me, it's similar to like, if you ever had Cerakoted a gun or maybe a tumbler, how the paint actually protects the item itself because it becomes scratch resistant, ding resistant, and eventually it will chip, but it's extremely easy to fix. So every year I order weights. Sometimes I don't even need to, but I do just to re-up on things that I'm missing or new techniques that I want to try. So actually today, I received my package in the mail. See? I have all the weights. So, and pretty much, I only pick up a few depending on what techniques I have. So give me a second and let me sort through these things to make it easier. Okay, for the most part, I'll order 2 different types of weights. A flipping and a worm weight. They really serve 2 different purposes. Flipping is when I need to punch through grass, mats, some nasty stuff, whether it's light, lily pads, or things like that. I use a flipping style weights. And for the worm style, they're smaller profile. So the bait doesn't get snagged as much, It's when I need to do something real stealthy right before I get close to finessing. So that's when I usually, so when I throw out a worm, creature bait, things like that, it's easier for me to drag through grass and actually go through mud and silt without disturbing it too much. And if I'm still disturbing it, I just go down in size. Keep going down in size until I don't bring up as much crud. That's what I do. Now, these bad boys, the 2 ounces, I use this for punching. I mean, obviously I live in Florida, so there's a lot of stuff to punch. It's summertime. That's where you get most of your bass from. Punching into just the thickest, nastiest stuff. And also, when I do need to punch, but I need to make the profile a little bit bigger when I'm trying to get the fat salads. This one right here is a punch weight, but it actually holds the skirt for a punch rig. So all that does is make the profile of the bait larger. So for me, I usually use like a nuke punch with the same matching color skirt. Throw that on here, add 2 bobber stoppers, and I'm ready to go. So actually, something else I forgot to mention. Another pro or advantage to using tungsten over lead. Tungsten is very, very sensitive because it's very dense. So you'll feel the bottom very well. You'll know where they went with rocks, dirt, mud. You can feel when something hits better. So a deadly combination I love to use is tungsten with braid. I might get some flack for it, but if I'm using certain techniques that require mono or fluoro, I usually tie a leader about 9 feet the most. I usually 9 feet is still a little overkill, but I don't really want to be tying an FG knot while I'm fishing. I like to do my prep before I go out on the water, usually the day or the night before, and that way I can enjoy my time on the water more. And plus, I'm on a kayak, limited space. Depending where you fish, boulders, things like that. So that's it. But as you see on the packaging, oxy coated armor and diamond polish. Not too sure what a diamond polish is, but that's probably why it's so smooth. These weights are beautiful. And to give you an example about the chip, as you see right on concrete. Get the dust off. No chips. No scratches. Look like it came fresh out the pack. Yeah. So stay tuned. I'm gonna show you a couple of fish catches using these beautiful, beautiful products. All right. Peace.